This is the Eat Well, Think Well, Live Well podcast. I'm Lisa Salisbury, and this is episode 161, 5 more sneaky thoughts that sabotage your weight loss. Welcome to Eat Well, Think Well, Live Well, the podcast for busy women who want to lose weight without constantly counting, tracking, or stressing over every bite. I'm Lisa Salisbury, a certified health, weight loss, and life coach, and most importantly, a recovered chronic dieter. Here, you'll learn to listen to your body and uncover the reasons you're reaching for food when you're not truly hungry, freeing you to focus on a healthier, more fulfilling approach to eating. Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. Last November, if you're a longtime listener, you might remember I released an episode called Sneaky Thoughts That Sabotage Your Weight Loss Goals. But since I do a lot of mindset work with my clients, I notice these thoughts all the time. So today I'm going to bring you 5 more of these little thoughts that are really just not doing you any favors. Okay, so sneaky thought number 1, it's too late in the day to get back on track. This one usually shows up after you've overeaten or made a choice you regret, started the day with a donut. Other versions of this sounds like, I've blown it now. Those kinds of phrases, right? Well, I might as well. This thought sounds harmless, especially if this occurs in the evening, like it's already evening, I might as well start fresh tomorrow. But the problem is that it gives your brain permission to keep overeating for the rest of the day. It turns maybe one small slip into a whole day of unhelpful choices, or maybe just a whole evening, but you get the idea. So I'm going to give you a reframe for each of these sneaky thoughts. And your reframe for this one is that every choice still counts, no matter what time it is. Dinner is not ruined just because lunch wasn't perfect. You can decide that the very next bite, and you know about the very next bite strategy, you can decide the very next bite you take will be one that honors your body. Often, your very next bite is the next morning. But it doesn't mean that it can't be your next bite being the next meal. Maybe it's lunch, maybe it's dinner, whichever it is, it does not matter. You can always start with your very next bite. Wait for physical hunger and have that next bite be something that is going to be helpful for you. Okay, sneaky thought number 2. If the scale isn't moving, nothing is working. This is such a common trap. The scale feels like the only proof of progress. So if it's not budging, your brain wants to say all of this effort is wasted. But this ignores all of the other markers of success. Better sleep, more energy, improved digestion, fewer cravings, even the simple fact that you're showing up differently for yourself. I did an entire episode on this in July. And that one's called What to Track When the Scale Isn't Moving. It's episode 157. And it goes way beyond just your typical non-scale victory type advice. So listen to that if this thought is really getting to you. If you don't need the whole episode, I'll give you the reframe here. Progress is happening even when the scale is quiet. So ask yourself, what's different in my body or my habits this week compared to last month? You'll almost always find proof that something is working. And then if you need more ideas, of course, that whole episode is there. I actually am going to give you one more example of this. Look for things like I actually just had a client have almost an entire month of vacations between, weekends away and all kinds of different events. And she maintained her weight during that time. What a non-scale victory that was for her, because in the past, she absolutely would have gained during that time. And so even though the scale wasn't moving in the direction that she wanted to, which was down, maintaining was actually such a win. So that's another reframe as well, is to look at where you might have previously gained weight and notice that you're not making the scale move in the opposite direction of where you want it to go. And so that actually is a major win. Okay, sneaky thought number 3. If I loved my body, I wouldn't want to lose weight. This one is so convincing because it sounds virtuous. It makes you feel like you're striving for body acceptance, which is actually a good thing. Of course, we want to love our bodies. Of course, we want to strive for body acceptance. It's not that I'm saying it's not. But this thought in a reality often keeps you stuck in guilt, as if wanting to lose weight and loving your body are opposites. They're not. You can deeply respect and appreciate your body and still want to take care of it by reducing excess weight. Two things can be true. It's my favorite Dr. Becky Kennedy concept. Two things can be true. You can deeply respect your body and want to still take some weight off. Self-acceptance and being comfortable in your own skin is honestly one of the most common results that my clients have, even when they haven't lost all of their weight yet. The more they are comfortable and love themselves, the easier the weight loss can become. So if this thought is coming up for you, your reframe here is pursuing weight loss can be an act of self-love, not self-rejection. Wanting change doesn't mean you don't already value yourself. It means you see your body as worthy of care. Sneaky thought number 4, I'll just figure it out when I get there. This one shows up when we are eating out, on vacation, or just having super busy days. It sounds flexible, but what it really means is I don't want to think about this right now. I'll just kick the can down the road, right? And when you arrive in the situation unprepared, your brain is going to automatically default to old habits. A reframe for this is my plan doesn't need to be complicated. Even a quick thought like I'll order a protein and vegetable at the restaurant gives your brain direction. Thinking ahead is actually what allows you to enjoy yourself without feeling out of control. This is another topic I've done virtually an entire episode on. Enjoy the party without the post-event regret is episode 148. And that's where I introduced the pause, plan, proceed approach. Planning ahead is not diet mentality. It's a smart strategy to put your goals first. All right, and sneaky thought number 5, the medication is doing the work, so I don't need to change my habits. For anyone on GLP-1s, this can be very convincing. And even for those of you that are what I consider GLP-1 curious, like you're considering using the medication, you might have thought this about it. Well, the medication is doing all the work for them, so they don't need to change their habits. You might be using this as like a judgmental thought as well, or as a thought to keep you from trying a GLP-1. So the appetite suppression feels like the solution to your problems, right? And so why bother making any other changes? You'll just naturally eat less and call it good. That is somewhat true. That is part of what we need is that appetite suppression. We do need to eat a little less when we are on a weight loss trajectory. But the sneaky part here is that the medication can quiet the food noise, but it doesn't solve the emotional triggers, the all or nothing mindset, or just the general life patterns that led to the overeating in the first place. In addition, you must be conscious of your protein and your fiber to reduce side effects, namely muscle loss and constipation. Those are the big ones, and protein and fiber can help with those two things respectively. So yes, the medication will do the work of helping you eat less, but it's just not the only thing that needs to happen. The reframe on this one is thinking medication gives me breathing room, and this is my chance to build habits without the constant fight against hunger. The habits you create now are what carry you long term, whether you stay on the medication or not. So we want to use this time to actually change your habits instead of, again, sort of that same phrase, kicking the can down the road, thinking you're going to change your habits when you get off the medication. Okay, short and sweet today. We covered 5 more of these subtle thoughts that might sound true in the moment, but are actually keeping you from making the progress you want. Just remember, these aren't moral failings or proof that you can't do this. They're simply old thought habits, really just sneaky little lies that your brain has practiced for a long time. They're there because your brain thinks it's keeping you safe, because change is hard and scary to your brain. When you start noticing them, you create the space to question them and to choose something different. That's the real work. Catching the thought, deciding if it serves you, and then gently redirecting yourself towards what's actually true and useful. If one of these thoughts stood out to you today, don't try to tackle them all at once. Just pick that one and work on noticing it this week. Awareness alone is powerful, and with practice, you'll find yourself replacing these tricky thoughts with ones that actually move you toward your goals. And as always, getting a second set of eyes on your brain is literally what I do. My specialty is helping you see your blind spots. It's these thoughts you don't even realize that are getting in your way. So make an appointment to chat with me today. Link for the free consult call is in the show notes. And if you want some more specific help with your nutrition, check out my new nutrition guide. It's pulled right from my one-on-one coaching program, and it's only $27. Remember, what you eat matters, but what you believe about yourself matters more. Thanks again for listening and sharing the Eat Well, Think Well, Live Well podcast.